Joining me from Abuja via Skype is security consultant and senior research fellow at the National Defense College Abuja, Group Captain Sadiq Shehu. Group Captain Shehu, it's good to have you join us this morning. Now, it is in no doubt that the military is gaining against the terrorists from the reports we're getting. But one wonders how in some of the places that we have a stronghold of the military, we have some attack from terrorist organizations even at this time.
Well, thank you very much. Like you know, counterterrorism is something sometimes of hit or miss, trial and error. Recently, the Nigerian military decided to change their tactics to what they call super camps. Super camps, what it means is that instead of having isolated outposts like we saw in Matele that can be circled easily by Boko Haram and inflict maximum damage, they decided that those smaller units that are situated in villages should be removed in order to form what they call a super camp. A super camp allows them to concentrate men and material, which we must understand are not even enough. They must concentrate what they have so that instead of having smaller various posts spread, they have one big post from where they could launch operation. Now, this is a sound idea and it conforms with other counterinsurgencies we have seen in the world. It is not a new idea. What we call in the super camp is what is called the ink drop strategy. What is meant by ink drop strategy is that you concentrate your forces in one place, like the drop of an ink on a paper. Now, the idea is that from that concentrated emplacement, you will spread outwards. Like, for example, when you put a drop of ink on a paper, it spreads out, or a drink of an oil. It is a strategy that has been tried by the French in Algeria and other places.
All right, Group Captain Shehu.
Yes, please.
Yes, the point there is when you're talking about super camp, I like the way you make us understand it. But what do we, when it comes to the issue of the manpower and the equipment to be able to put a drop in a certain place and spread, do we have that capacity right now?
That is where the big problem is. In all honesty, we will continue to see, and the government must continue to know, and the military themselves must be able to tell the political masters, we do not have enough men and enough material to really do that. Because when you have the super camp, like we see now in Magumeri, the other villages where you withdraw, the insurgents, knowing
all right, the line is breaking. I'm afraid we have to leave you here now, Group Captain Sadiq Shehu. We must thank you very much for talking to us on this issue. Now, stay.
Well, joining me now from Abuja via Skype, a security consultant and senior research fellow at the National Defense College, Abuja, Group Captain Sadiq Shehu. Good morning. Welcome to TVC Breakfast this hour. Talking about this lingering war in the Northeast. It appears to have shifted. If you look at the casualties in this recent attacks that we've seen now, an Islamic cleric's home was also burned. A mosque itself was attacked. Now, what does it tell you about the pattern of this Boko Haram insurgency now?
Insurgents always want to show that the government is weak. They want, and the only way they can do that is to harass the population. If they can make the population to be panicky, if they can make the population to lose confidence that the government cannot protect them, that is always the tactics of the insurgent. And to cause such panic, it costs very little. What they do is to go where there is no military or security presence and harass the civilians that are there. As you see, this harassment, as it is, it made the state governor to run to Abuja to go and complain. We have seen a lot of posts from people in the community. To the insurgent, this is victory. If he can make the people to lose confidence that the security forces cannot protect them, it is a deliberate tactics that is used by insurgents everywhere.
Oh, okay. And then looking at, other measures that we have seen, we've seen the establishment of super camps now for the military and all that. But then let us turn now to the agricultural sector. We understand that an NSCDC Agro Ranger squad has also been set up now. Is receiving kudos from the government to secure farmers now as they go out to their farms now to do the necessary work there. How much of a breakthrough are we going to get in these areas now? How much of a breakthrough are we going to get in these areas now?
Well, it is a good idea, but again, like everything, it depends on the implementation. Rather than looking at them to provide farmers with security while they go about their economic activities, that is very fine. But one other area I want NSDC to look at, as they call this agro rangers, is to look of them acting like forest guards. Most of the, I mean, when you go away from the northeast, most of the crimes we're having, the banditry, is because these bandits are in areas that are supposed to be on guarded spaces, deep forest where there is no government presence. I would like to see NSDC, in complementing the other security agencies, embarking on things like motorcycle patrols. You know, a criminal doesn't want any government presence. Why these people are camping in this forest is because they can stay there for years without anybody, without seeing any government presence. So these agro rangers activities should include acting like forest rangers, going to all these ungoverned spaces that we have so many in Nigeria because of our lot size. They should go on, motorcycle patrols, foot patrols, bicycle patrols, whatsoever, to show presence. That will dissuade that will dissuade criminals from going deep into the hinterlands and, setting up their encampments.
Right, Group Captain Sadiq Shehu, we appreciate your contributions on the program. Thank you. Joining me from Abuja now via Skype, a security consultant. He's also a senior research fellow at the National Defense College in Abuja. Group Captain Sadiq Shehu, it's good to have you join us on the program this morning. Welcome. Right. Talking about this super camps, an initiative of the Nigerian military in tackling the Boko Haram insurgency. We've also had Governor Zulum speaking out on this. For him, he says, wouldn't it be better to have military presence in all localities, looking at this attack in Magomere and the surrounding regions?
Well, thank you very much. There is the military view of these super camps, and also there is the civilian view by Governor Zulum. Like I said earlier when you contacted me, the super camp is another form of what is called the ink drop or oil drop strategy. This is by way of concentrating forces in particular areas, and then from there you will spread outwards. The way that when you put ink on paper, it spreads outwards on the paper. That is a kind of strategy that has been seen to be used in other counterinsurgency operations. And I think that is the Nigerian Army's way of bringing that strategy and naming it super camp. Now it has its uses in that if you can concentrate in a certain area, we have to understand, it's very important to understand that the Nigerian military, as we continue to say, does not have the enough manpower and the equipment to carry out this operation as it is. So they have to think out of the box. And what of thinking out of the box is bringing troops and pulling them out, unfortunately, from certain local governments and putting them in some local governments that they have identified as critical locations. And then from there, they will spread outwards.
Right.
It is supposed to be, excuse me.
And
yeah,
then,
yes.
Where is the place?
For the governor, governor,
right. Group Captain Shehu, let me also ask further, where is the place of the civilian JTF now in this rearrangement?
Well, you see, to be honest with you, for those of us that have been following this insurgency, the place of the status of the civilian JTF has been, this way or that way. It has not been really clear for various reasons. First, the civilian JTF are not members of the armed forces. Now, if the armed forces accept them as collaborators, there could be vicarious liability in the case where civilian JTF are found to be using illegal tactics, detention, or torture that will reflect again on the Nigerian military. So for a long time since we started, the Nigerian military has been hesitant to recognize civilian JTF. But there is no doubt that the civilian JTF, they have the local knowledge, they have the terrain knowledge,
and they could boost the numbers. And they could boost the numbers of the soldiers.
They could boost the numbers where the military, withdraw, or places that they have established camp. the civilian JTF could move in. But then again, like you said, they have the problem of equipment themselves, because they do not have lethal equipment. They don't have local equipment that they use. So it's really an uncomfortable relationship. On the one hand, the military needs them. On the second hand, the military is reticent about, in cases of abuses, the Nigerian military will have to take responsibility for every action that civilian JTF does.
All right, Group Captain Sadiq Shehu, we appreciate your contributions on